guys, well, it's been a minute since I've been able to get out to the woods. Me and a buddy of mine, we just had a great idea: load the truck up, drive 5 hours north. So we're up here in northern Missouri. I mean, just barely below Iowa. I mean, you can almost see Iowa. But there's a really big cold front coming through this week. Last week was all 70s and 80s. This week's going to be 60s and 50s. And it's going to get down to the 30s at night. So I'm just going to sit tight here and see what happens. I'm hunting this big river bottom directly back here behind me, right there. There's a bunch of big cornfields, and where I'm at, I'm on the public, and then about 90 yards is the property line, and there's a river that runs all the way around me. Well, directly on the other side of the river is 600 acres of cut beans. So we're gonna sit here till dark. I've never scouted this, I've never done anything. It's my first time in this spot. So we'll see what happens. Alright guys, well I've been here for about, 35 minutes. And straight out here in front of me, I just heard something hit the river really hard. It almost sounded like a deer crossing. So, I don't know, wish me luck. I hope something comes my way. Alright, well, I just had that decent little buck come in behind me. He was over there where I walked in at, and I watched him stand up. I don't know if he was bedded there the whole time or what, but he stood up, and he just kind of looked around for a little bit and browsed around on some grass right there, and then he laid back down for probably a good 20 minutes. I mean, it's 6 o'clock now, and when I first seen him, it was, 5:15, 5:20. Well, he stood back up, and he kept throwing his nose up in the air, But my wind is not going to him. But he kept looking down my way, and I dropped some milkweed, and it went straight to the base of my tree. But he stood up, and he walked toward the private to the big bean fields, and he was limping really bad. So I don't know if he got hurt sparring or I have no idea. But he was limping really bad. I don't know if I would have shot that deer if he would have came up here. He was probably about a 115 8-pointer. He wasn't a big deer. He was a 2-year-old. But like I said, we got about 35 minutes left of that legal light, so I'm gonna sit put and I'll update you if something else changes. All right, well, it's October 23rd. It's the day after we seen that little buck, but my buddy's gonna come in there. He's gonna sit with me this morning. I think we're gonna hunt the same tree because as we was pulling in, all the deer was already in the field up here where he was sitting at. So we're trying to wait for the sun to kind of pop up just a little bit more so we can slip in a little bit cleaner without boogering everything out. That buck from last night, he ended up working off onto the private. He went over into the cut beans, and so I got down a little bit early and started walking out, and my phone ended up dying, so I didn't get anything else on video. But there was 8 does and 2 bucks up here, and then there was 11 does and 1 buck in the cornfield. So this morning we're gonna sit where I was in that bottom, but then we're gonna try to hang up something else for this evening. Right now it's 30 degrees and it's not even supposed to start warming up till about noon. So I don't know. We're gonna wait for the sun to come up and then we're gonna get out there and get after it and hope for the best. All right, so it's about 8 o'clock right now, and we got set up in the tree, and it's just been one of the mornings. They're just not moving. You can see out here in the beans on the private, there's a couple of deer out there, but as far as this river bottom, it's been completely dead. We're probably gonna stay put for a little while longer, then we're gonna get out and do a little bit of scouting and see if we can't find a couple new areas. Okay, well, this morning was an absolute bust. Freezing cold, no deer moving. All we seen was a fox squirrel. So we decided to climb down early. We're gonna probably go back to camp, warm up a little bit, get some lunch, and then go out and do some scouting and hopefully find a good place for this evening. There's a big deer track right there. But no, we seen a couple on the private in the beans, and then he seen one run across this field out here. But as far as anything in the bottom with us, there was absolutely nothing going on down there. Well, I was just slipping through this little wetland, kind of a marsh, and it's really windy, so it's really helping hide my sound. But I walked up on a doe over here feeding. I mean, there's hundreds of rubs right here in this little pocket, but I'm on a little peninsula that's completely surrounded by a river, and directly on the other side of the river is a bunch of crop fields. And I think she stood up out of bed and was just kind of browsing around in here. So my plan is I'm gonna find a tree right here somewhere and get popped up. So I'll see you guys in a tree. All right, so I ended up making a move. I was back here in this marsh, and well, I ended up seeing that doe, and I never jumped her or anything like that, but I got looking at onX, and I was only about 40 yards from the property boundary. And I had the marsh on the left side of me, and I had the private on the right side of me. And I did not want to take the chance on shooting one and having it run over there. So I made a move, and I'm sitting on the edge of the cornfield where I seen all those deer at last night. And I'm not really expecting to shoot anything here. It's more of just an observation sit. So I don't know. I mean, I've got probably about an hour and a half left of light, so we'll sit here and see if something comes slipping by. You never know, I might be able to grunt a buck over or something, I don't know. But we'll see. Well, we got about 30 minutes left of legal light, and the first deer just came into the cornfield. It looks like a doe. She's about 200 yards away, but she's feeding toward me. Like I said, we got 30 minutes, so we're gonna sit tight and see if either something else pops out or if she works her way over here. Wish me luck. Alright guys, so it is the following evening. I think it's the 24th of October. It's our third day up here. And it's probably low 50s, but we got some, it sounds like we got some storms supposed to be moving in. I'm hearing thunder in the distance, but where I'm at now, I'm in this real deep holler, and it looks like it's like, I don't know, 7-8-year-old clear cut. There's a little creek runs right here in front of me. Not really a creek, like a wet weather branch, but I mean, it is just tore up with deer tracks. So this is probably going to be where I spend probably this evening and tomorrow morning. So I don't know, hopefully something steps out and gives me an opportunity. We've only got 2 days left, so oh, it's a bird. I thought it was a deer. Anyway, we only got 2 days left, so we're gonna keep getting after it. I'm gonna keep pushing further and further in the cover, and I'm either gonna blow them out or I'm gonna get an opportunity. That's horrible. It's blowing right up the bottom. Man, I just don't know what else to do, because I mean, it's already almost 4 o'clock. If I move, my evening hut's already over. But there's a lot of trails going this way. There's a lot of trails going this way, so I mean, I don't know. Hopefully something comes in. We'll see. Well, guys, we got like an hour and a half left of daylight. And there's a guy walking around the woods. He's probably about 120 yards from me right now. But he's literally talking to himself and pointing. Let's see if I can get him on video. It's like he don't even know where he's going. Like he'll walk one way, look around, turn around, walk the other way. Guys, you gotta love public land. Like, this is crazy. Prime time. And this guy's up walking around having a conversation with himself. I mean, I guess technically I am too. I'm just sitting in a tree talking to my phone, so I don't know who's the crazy one, I guess. Okay, so update on crazy guy walking through the woods. He ended up going down toward the right, down toward my truck, and now he's down there shooting a pistol. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, I have no idea what he'd be shooting at with a pistol. That don't make any sense. But I don't know where he's at. Like I said, he's down there in that river bottom. And I'm in this bottom, then you got this big ridge, and then down on the other side is where my buddy's sitting at. And we're both up here in this big clear cut. So, I mean, if he gets down there making a whole bunch of noise, he might run some deer up here past us. I don't know. But regardless, man, this is wild. Alright, guys. It is 6 o'clock. And I got the first deer here. There's a doe up on this ridge. I don't know if she's going to come down here. I just barely caught a glimpse of her. And she was kind of working to the left of me. But I don't know. You never know. She's just up there feeding on acorns. So she might come in. So I'm just going to sit put and hope for the best. If she comes in, I'm definitely going to take her. Alright, well, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for tonight. I ended up seeing 2 different does. There was a big doe on the ridge in front of me, and then there was a little yearling running around playing on the one behind me. But I'm going to leave my set here, and I'm probably going to come back here and hunt in the morning. And if nothing happens from that, I'm going to try to move further in where both of those does came from. So, because I'm hunting on the outskirts of a clear cut, and I just feel like if I can get further in there, I might have better luck. But like, there's a lot of deer sign here, but there's no rubs, no scrapes, no nothing. So I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll try it again in the morning and see what happens. Alright, guys, well, it is the next morning, and it's probably 45 degrees with 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts. We didn't see anything driving over here. Last night, right after dark, we seen a bunch of deer on the road. We seen 2 really nice bucks. But I don't know, we had just a little bit of rain last night, and now it's windy, so I'm hoping them bucks will still be up trying to run scrapes. So when I was walking out last night, I actually noticed that there is a scrape down the creek bed toward the parking lot. And once I got in here this morning, there's a scrape right here underneath my tree that wasn't there yesterday. And I mean, it's 8 yards from my tree. So I don't know. Like I said yesterday, we're going to sit here, stay put for a couple hours, and if nothing happens, I'm probably going to try to move up on this ridge and go down further in. So I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out, I guess. Alright guys, well I guess that's gonna wrap it up for my morning sit. I didn't see a deer. I didn't hear a deer. This was super slow. It seems like none of the other guys really had much luck either. With the high winds and that little bit of rain last night, I think they laid up early. But that scrape is right there. And I mean my tree's right there. I mean, it's 8 yards from my tree, but I don't know. But what I'm gonna try to get is I'm gonna try to get up on that ridge tonight. I've been doing a little bit of scouting on onX while I was sitting here in the tree, so we'll dive in there later and we'll see what we can come up with. Alright guys, I just got set up for my evening hunt. It's just now noon, but I did not end up going to the clear cut like I planned. The weather up here actually did a complete 180 on us, and there's no way I could have got away with that sit. The wind would have been it would have been going right up to the middle of that clear cut. So what I did is I moved out here. There's a cornfield there. There's a cornfield there. And then up on top of that hill's a standing bean field. And then all this back behind me, it's about 30 acres of briars and poke and vines, and I mean it's a thick mess. But there's this creek right here. There's a bunch of trails coming across it, and up this green roadway there's scrapes all the way up and down it. There's saplings that big around just snapped off. So I'm gonna hang out here for the next 7 hours to see what comes slipping by. Maybe a doe, maybe a decent buck, I don't know. But we'll just sit tight and wait. We're probably getting 30-mile-an-hour wind gust right now, and I mean, it is getting cold. And the thing is, with how hard this wind's blowing, I'm not really expecting to see the deer go to the center of the fields. I'm expecting them to walk the edges, and maybe even down here in this drainage behind me. But what my plan is if I see a buck out in the field, I'm gonna try to call him over here. I don't know. I mean, it's October 25th. They should be starting anytime. And I know I've been seeing bucks with broken tines already, so I know they're already sparring, but I just gotta get one to commit to a call and come over and try to fight. But the problem is there's so many does up here. They don't really need to compete. They've already got their hands full, but I don't know. I'm just hoping to find that big aggressive buck that'll come over here. We've got this evening and tomorrow morning, and then we're heading home, so I don't know. Hopefully something happens for somebody. Alright, guys, well, I just had that little buck come by. He came into my rattling. He stepped out in the corner and looked, and then he came a little ways across that field. Man, he just kept looking and kept looking. But I tried to sit patient and be quiet while he was out in the field, and I ain't gonna lie, it was hard to sit still. Because, man, that wind is so cold, it's got me shivering. But he's still standing over there. I can see him. I don't expect him to come back, but I really hope he does. Because if he does, I'm going to give him a ride home in the truck. But, alright, guys, well, I'm going to jump off here and keep hunting, and I'll keep you guys posted.